When you deploy applications in Amazon EKS across multiple availability zones, an impaired AWS can impact your application availability and require manual intervention to redirect traffic. Karpenter now integrates with Amazon Application Recovery Controller Zonal Shift to automate this process. When you enable zonal shift support by setting enable_zonal_shift in your Karpenter settings, Karpenter automatically stops provisioning new capacity in impaired zones during a zonal shift event. It halts voluntary disruptions such as consolidation and drift for nodes in the affected zone, and prevents voluntary disruptions in healthy zones if they depend on scheduling pods to the impaired zone. Pods with strict scheduling requirements like volume affinities that require the impaired zone will not trigger launch attempts. This works with both manual zonal shifts and automated zonal auto shifts without requiring custom ARC resources, as Karpenter integrates directly with the existing EKS cluster ARC resource. When the zonal shift expires or is canceled, Karpenter resumes normal operations. Scheduling API calls across AWS services typically requires custom integration code and infrastructure management, limiting your ability to automate service operations at scale. EventBridge Scheduler now supports 619 new SDK API actions across 13 additional services, expanding coverage beyond its existing 270+ service integrations. You can schedule 619 new API actions across AWS services directly without writing integration code. You can invoke Lambda Managed Instances on time-based schedules to control when functions are available. You eliminate custom integration code for service invocations by using native scheduler capabilities. You can scale capacity up or down at scheduled times for precise resource provisioning. This serverless approach allows you to create and manage billions of scheduled tasks without provisioning infrastructure, with availability across all EventBridge Scheduler regions. If you run Lambda functions with predictable traffic patterns on Lambda Managed Instances, you previously had to manually adjust capacity limits before expected demand changes or build custom automation for scheduled scaling. This created operational overhead and risked performance issues if you forgot to scale up before traffic arrived, or unnecessary costs if you forgot to scale down during idle periods. With scheduled scaling, you can define one-time or recurring schedules that proactively adjust your function's capacity limits ahead of expected traffic. You can scale up before peak periods so execution environments are ready when requests arrive, scale capacity to 0 during idle periods to pay only when serving traffic, and scale back up before traffic returns. You create schedules using EventBridge Scheduler through the console, CLI, SDK, CDK, or CloudFormation, giving you flexibility in how you manage capacity across all regions where Lambda Managed Instances is supported. Agents often need to switch between multiple applications to access case information and customer context while resolving issues, which slows down their workflow and reduces efficiency. Amazon Connect now addresses this by letting you embed cases and customer profiles directly into your custom agent applications. You can embed cases into custom agent applications to provide immediate access to case details. You can embed customer profiles into custom applications to surface customer context where agents work. You can use the Amazon Connect SDK to bring native Connect experiences into your applications without building these capabilities from scratch. You can access case details alongside existing agent tools, allowing agents to resolve issues faster without context switching. The SDK is available in all AWS regions where Amazon Connect Customer is available. Managing machine learning feature data requires controlling access to sensitive information while optimizing storage performance, but previously this required using multiple separate tools. With SageMaker feature store support for Python SDK v3, you can now use SDK v3 to manage feature groups with streamlined workflows and less boilerplate code. You can enforce column and row level access with lake formation integration through an opt-in setting at feature group creation, giving you fine-grained control over who can access specific feature data. You can configure iceberg properties for storage optimization such as compaction and snapshot expiration directly through the SDK to improve query performance. To get started, install SageMaker Python SDK v3.8.0 or later to manage access controls and optimize offline store performance from a single interface without managing separate tools.